Eastern Orthodoxy and the doctrine of the aerial toll houses. Yesterday I went through Father Seraphim Rose's work, The Soul After Death. Now, the aerial toll houses is this idea that when you die, your soul is like going through this ascending process, and you have the angels who are bringing about your good deeds and the demons who are accusing you and bringing up your bad deeds, and they are being weighed. And there's different sections to this ascent. In the work, he says that it should be emphasized that this teaching is not of a few isolated teachers in the Orthodox Church, but is the teaching which the Orthodox Church of Christ has handed down from the very beginning, which is expressed in countless patristic writings and lives of saints, and in the divine services, in the hymns of the Orthodox Church. He even suggests apostolic tradition. A lot of this theology, it seems, comes kind of out of these out-of-body experiences of people who die and then come back to life. Here's an interesting example in the book that I found. He said, "When I was dying, I saw Ethiopians who appeared before me. Their appearance was very frightful. My soul, beholding them, was disturbed. Then I saw two splendid youths, and my soul leaped out into their arms. We began slowly to ascend in the air to the heights, as if flying, and we reached the toll houses that guard the ascent and detain the soul of each man. Each toll house tested a special form of sin, one lying, one envy, another pride. Each sin has its own testers in the air. And I saw that the angels held all my good deeds in a little chest, taking them out. They would compare them with my evil deeds. Thus we passed by all the toll houses, and when nearing the gates of heaven, we came to the toll house of fornication. Those who guard the way detained me and presented to me all my fleshly deeds of fornication, committed from my childhood up to now. The angels who were leading me said, 'All the bodily sins which you committed in the city, God has forgiven you because you repented of them.' To this my adversary said to me, 'But when you left the city and the village, you committed adultery with a farmer's wife.' The angels, hearing this and finding no good deeds which could be measured out," as if the good is measuring out and weighing out the bad, "that they found none that could be measured out for my sin, left me and went away. Then the evil spirits seized me, and overwhelming me with blows, led me down to earth. The earth opened, and I was let down by narrow and foul-smelling descents into the underground prison of hell." In The Future Life According to Orthodox Teaching by Constantine Carvanos, he says, during the attack, quote, "During the attack of the demons, the soul defends itself. It defends itself, being aided by the holy angels who report the soul's good deeds." And I kind of did an AI image kind of depicting the setting in a sense, and this is based off William Blake's art, which I love. To me, it sounds kind of very similar to the Neoplatonic ascent of the soul, something you'd find in like Plotinus. Back to the work of The Soul After Death, he says, "Thus, of course, there are no visible houses or booths in the air where taxes are collected, and where there is mention of scrolls or writing implements whereby sins are recorded, or scales by which virtues are weighed." So he's basically saying it doesn't have to be literal. It's not physical in a sense. Doesn't mean it's not real, though. The doctrine still stands. He says in the work, "No one aware of Orthodox teaching would say that the toll houses are not real and are not actually experienced by the soul after death." I thought this was helpful. Bishop Theophan the Recluse, if I'm saying that right, was a defender of the toll house teaching. And in his commentary on the 18th verse of Psalm 118, "Let my heart be blameless in thy statutes, that I may not be put to shame," he says the prophet does not mention how and where one may not be put to shame. The nearest not being put to shame occurs during the arising of inward battles. The second moment of not being put to shame is the time of death and the passage through the toll houses. He says, what do these toll gatherers seek in those who pass through? They seek whether people might have some of their goods. What kind of goods? Passions. Therefore, in the person whose heart is pure and a stranger to passions, they cannot find anything to wrangle over. On the contrary, the opposing quality will strike them like arrows of lightning. In regards to the toll houses being frightful, he says it could be quite possible that the demons, instead of something scary, frightful, might present something seductive to try to seduce you, something to test your passions. He says, when during the course of earthly life, the passions have been banished from the heart and the virtues opposed to them have been planted, then no matter what seductive thing you might present, the soul, having no kind of sympathy for it, passes it by, turning away from it with disgust. But when the heart has not been cleansed, the soul will rush to whatever passion the heart has most sympathy for. And the demons will take it like a friend, and then they know where to put it. He says it's very doubtful that a soul, as long as there remain in it sympathies for the objects of any passion, will not be put to shame at the toll houses. Being put to shame here means that the soul itself is thrown into hell, but the final being put to shame is at the last judgment before the face of the all-seeing judge. So it seems that you have to be at some sort of point of your transformation, of theosis within Eastern Orthodoxy thought, in order to pass through.